Jakob Fak, fantastic effort.
That's great skiing, and I love the way that Lars Berger, he paced it so comfortably by his own high standards for the first 3.3 kilometers, and then you just sensed he picked it up and up as the race went on. It's a horrible little penalty loop because your legs around the bottom curves get even more loaded with the tight cornering. Maritz, veteran now from the Slovenian team.
Yeah, 37. Some would say past it. He obviously feels otherwise. Well, he's missed 2 in both of the sprints so far this year, and today he throws 3 wide. To be fair to him, the wind picking up throughout his shoot, you can see the flags there, and giving him very little chance of hitting all the targets. But you can see from that only 3 of the top 10 have managed to shoot the perfect score, and they at the moment are the only 3 to have gone 10 out of 10. So difficult conditions.
The news on the track, Fourcade has just gone through the 8.3. He's 0.9 of a second behind Jakob Fak's time.
Well, he's not going to be short of information out there, Mike. Again, the advantage coming from a handy bib draw.
It is, and maybe that's why Fourcade opted for the second group, knowing that a lot of the big names would be in the first group.
And I think one Jakob Fak has just guaranteed big crowds for Saturday, because whatever happens, he's going to be starting within a couple of seconds of the leader in the men's pursuit event, having shot so well here today. He's got the current leading time, but Martin Fourcade is on the charge.
It's down to 0.2 of a second now. Fourcade, he's picked up half a second only.
But don't forget how quick Jakob Fak was over the last 500 metres. To take 2 seconds out of Svensson in the last 500 means that Fourcade is going to have to do the same, and he may not be aware.
And this is the segment where Fak picked up that 1.82 seconds, technically taking the corners so tight.
He's looking tired. He is looking tired, but he's immensely strong. 24:41.7 is the time that he's after. Good little burst from Martin Fourcade up over the last serious uphill, and now it's freewheeling all the way into the finish. He's got the slipstream of I think that might be Lau Bailey just in front of him. That could be worth half a second. 10 seconds to go, and it looks as though Jakob Fak is going to be safe. 4, 3, 2, time has run out, and once again Martin Fourcade has been found wanting in the closing stages. The news for the locals gets better and better as the day goes on. He's into 3rd, and even Svensson survived in 2nd place.
What happened there to Fourcade? He's normally so powerful, and especially in the last 2 kilometers. Well, I think that the picture says it all. He's one tired guy maybe after the 2 cross-country races early in the season.
But think of last year, Mike. This time last year, he was brilliant in Östersund, untouchable in Östersund. By the time we finished in Hogfilsen, he was on his dip, but it was his only dip of the season, and then he came up for the New Year period and was almost untouchable again. So maybe it's exactly the same cycle as we saw last year.
Interesting, yeah, I do remember he did drop off a little, but we're talking tiny margins. He's only 6 seconds off Fak's time, but by his high standard, those tiny margins are, well, he's certainly feeling the pace out there.
Yeah, we've got 4 in the top 4 in 20 seconds. Christoph Suman, good finish to his race, and he will certainly be in the hunt on Saturday. We've still only got 11 over the finish within a minute of the leading time of 24:41.
This is good again from Suman. It's quite interesting. He took 3rd in the sprint race up in Östersund in Sweden. Last week, in his home training ground, he finished 61st, less than half a second off the cut-off for the pursuit race the following day. And today, he's back on form.
But if you have a bad shoot, Mike, it doesn't really indicate what your skiing form is, and I think, if I remember rightly, Suman missed 3 on the prone in Hogfilson. That knocks the guts out of you, and really all the incentive to push hard has gone.
In a sense it has, but you still have to qualify into the pursuit where great things can happen. There's only small margins in the pursuit race, even if you're at the back of the field.
When you've been around as long as him?
Interesting, that little interview I heard he gave, and he was asked, how does it feel? Obviously he came 61st, what's it like? You know, you're not as young as you used to be. He said, yeah, I'm a dinosaur in this game now. He said, but as long as I'm winning, as long as I'm up there in the Austrian team, I'll remain in it.
I don't think he's in any danger of losing his position in the Austrian team at the moment. Petrovic for Serbia. Wind conditions are tricky again. You can just see the wear and tear on the mat being blown around. That's as strong as it's been all day so far.
It's really good skiing from Petrovic, and it's great to see a small nation in biathlon coming to, or raising their game, certainly in the skiing aspect.
Now it's time to start looking at some of the bigger names starting later on, and what we'll try and do is give you an update on some good early starts as we see Iliev cross the line. Hoff has just gone into 13th. Iliev's position is going to be good. It's very good. 25.03 on the clock at the moment. He's in the red suit. Here he is, number 49, and Iliev heading for a top 10 position because Moravec is being pushed down, and once again another nation in the top 10. The Czech Republic are there, Slovenia are there, Bulgaria are there.
Do you know what, 10 years ago the Bulgarians, Iliev and Anev, they brought these 2 young guys in at 19-year-old, and they have changed the shape of Bulgarian biathlon. They took them out of the top 20s. They could only start 2. Now they can start 4 athletes, and they really are competitive.
Just trying to keep half an eye on Benny Vega of Switzerland. He's started his race very well. He's wearing bib number 69, and he's right up there in the top positions. He should be in to shoot in the stand position in just about a minute's time, but we're trying to track down his first shoot performance. Here's Ustigov, one man who perhaps has slightly underperformed so far this year. He's been consistent enough. He hasn't been on the podium until today, but he could join the big 3. And now we'll find out exactly what Ustigov's got left in the tank for his last .33.
Great shooting, and that was fearless shooting. I've been told the Russians, they've started well this season, but I've been told certainly after Christmas they're going to be even better and better as the season goes on.
So, 18 seconds to make up for Ustigov. Welcome back to Slovenia, the 3rd round of Biathlon World Cup racing taking place this week. We've got 4 days of action for you. The men's sprint is the only race today, the women's sprint tomorrow, and then pursuits on Saturday, but perhaps the one that most of the viewers are waiting for, Mike, the mass start, the first mass start of the season.
Brilliant. The best 30 in the world at the ranking on that day will all start together. For me, it's one of the best matchups. Julian Eberhard won 3 of his IBU Cup 10 kilometers brought into the Austrian team, and he's showing the rest of the field that his skiing's up there and today his shooting's up there. He had the 2nd fastest ski time in the sprint in Hogfilson and 4th fastest in the pursuit in Hogfilson.
Now Suman, who is trying to make up ground on his last lap. He's starting to look a little bit tired. It's a cruel climb out of the stadium here in Pokljuka. And that shot, I can guarantee you, flattens it off. There are quite a few false summits on this climb, aren't there, Mike? You think you've made it. Doesn't matter how many times you've been around the loop. It always surprises you how long the climb goes on.
And you're right there, you're right. You think you're reaching the top of a summit, but you've still to spin your way around to the right, and your legs are completely shot by the time you go over the rise. Suman changing gear, leading with the right, now leading with the left. Looking tired.
Yeah, I never know if that's a good sign or a bad one. Generally, it's very good practice to train both sides, particularly if the tracks you race on aren't quite as perfect as World Cup tracks, and you've got a little bit of a cant on. Martin Fourcade He was in a position to win this one, but he's been out-sprinted for the second week in succession. He's been pushed down into third at the moment, and a very respectable time from Fourcade.
You mentioned Vega chasing him down. Vega's gone and missed 2 targets in the stand. He was well competitive before the stand shoot.
Perhaps the performance of the day coming from Tim Burke of USA. Lau Bailey, his teammate. We'll try and find out how Lau's got on. Tim Burke still lying in 4th position at the finish as Maritz goes through. 3 misses on the prone, 2 on the stand, but Dockel has gone clear, and that's a really good start from Dockel, but he can't match the best in ski speed. But if he gets another 5 targets, then Dockel could find himself finishing in the top 20. Certainly better than 40th, because so few have hit 10 out of 10 so far.
This is a good performance from Dockel, former cross-country skier. He's now getting the feel. He can now hit the targets, but his ski speed appears to have slowed down in comparison. Suman still dancing his way as best he can. The tight corners here.
And for those of you following the fortunes of the Americans, I can tell you that Lau Bailey has missed 2 in total, and that's pushed him down outside the top 25 at the moment. So he's just about 1 minute and 5 seconds behind today's leaders.
Quite a lot of these pine needles on the track, which certainly slows your skis down as the resin goes onto your ski pace. Suman desperately trying, and he's hauling back some of the athletes ahead of him.
Suman breaks to his right while the others head back down towards the firing point. Suman now with just 50 meters to go. 26 minutes already on the clock. He's fighting for a top 30 today, and World Cup points, 128. World Cup points are important, but his position within the Austrian team are also fairly is also essential.
Very much so, and the best Austrian today, and the skiing has picked up, is Simon Eder in 8th position, and then we have to go down, I think, to Suman to find the 2nd best Austrian, so certainly up there in terms of his home nation.
Well, we haven't seen much of the Swedes. Their 2 big skiers started early, Ferry and Bergman. And we've got Freddie Lindström, actually is the best of the Swedes today once again, and he's in